Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another Hammer Productions night. Tonight, I will be reviewing The Quatermass Experiment, released in 1955. Directed by Val Guest, from a script by Guest and Richard Landau. Starring Brian Donlevy, Richard Wordsworth, Jack Warner, David King Wood, Margia Dean, Maurice Kaufmann, Herold Lang, and Lionel Jeffries. Now, I went into this one not knowing what to expect in this one, and it's a pretty cool sci-fi film, although I think Val Guest could have directed Brian Donlevy to be a more likable character. I like Brian Donlevy as an actor, but his performance as Professor Bernard Quatermass is an acquired taste. I mean, he is not very likable at all in this. I mean, he sets up the motions of what is going on in this film from the get-go by sending poor Richard Wordsworth's Victor and his two fellow compatriots into orbit in this spacecraft, and when the other two get killed and Richard Wordsworth's Victor ends up getting possessed by this alien creature, Brian Donlevy's professor is not really that caring toward what is going on with him and what he has done to him and everything. He is more interested in, well, now we need to continue our experiments on him, and now we need to do another, test, send more people out into space and everything. And it doesn't make him very likable at all. Now, characters do stupid shit in this film, like Margia Dean's Judith, Victor's wife. She makes a stupid mistake and ends up getting a character killed because of her stupidity of trying to break Victor out of this hospital where he was being kept. And everything was pretty much under control until she did that. But in a way, I cannot blame her, because Brian Donlevy's character was a complete prick and did not treat her properly with how she's suffering through what is happening to her husband and everything. So, yeah, Jack Warner gives a really great performance as Inspector Lomax. He is excellent in here, and he's very likable. He's much more likable as a character than Donlevy is as the professor here. And this is your main character. This is basically your title character in it. He should have been written and directed to perform a bit more likable, in my opinion. David King Wood as Dr. Gordon Briscoe is another one that he's portrayed much more likable than our lead. In fact, he keeps complaining and arguing against the professor and all of his bullshit that he wants to keep going forward with. So I didn't come away from this film really liking the Quatermass character in this. So it makes me wonder if the future Quatermass films in this series are going to follow suit, and he's still going to be such a unlikable character. But Val Guest, as usual, does a pretty damn good job of directing this, keeping the action flowing pretty good. It does lag and linger for a while until that moment where Margia Dean's Judith ends up doing that mission of trying to break her husband out of there, and basically causes a bunch of problems and more people to die because she got Victor out of there, and he ends up mutating to something that is much worse than what he was when he was in that hospital. But this film, it doesn't cement me on thinking that Hammer can do sci-fi as good as they can do horror. This is a okay film, but some of the effects on the creature stuff and everything is kind of corny, kind of crude, and, you know, not really believable. But, you know, look at the time period and probably the budget that they were working with. They didn't have much of a budget to come up with a really badass looking creature. So I doubt they had a budget enough for, like Universal had with the creature from the Black Lagoon, to come up with a creature that looked that damn good. I'm going to have to hold off on to see future films in this series and other sci-fi films from Hammer, because this is my first sci-fi film I'm watching from Hammer, and it was okay, but I don't think it's their best work. So my final review for the Quatermass Experiment from 1955, I am going to give this film a 7.4 out of 10. Like I said, I really like Brian Donlevy as an actor, but the way he was written and directed in this didn't make him a very likable character, unfortunately. So, but the rest of the cast is pretty damn good in this thing, with the exception of some stupid decisions the way they do, like I said, with Margia Dean's character of Judith and everything. But overall, you know, it's so-so okay. But what do you guys think of the Quatermass Experiment? Do you agree with my review? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you're by the subscribe button, click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan. As a Dark Knight Fan Plus member, you have access to an area on the channel right now where you can request a movie, TV series, or ranking video of your choosing on here. And when that video goes up, it will go up for all Plus members to view prior to it making it to the schedule for all other subscribers. So if you want to get interactive and help us to get more movies on here that you'd like to see me review, become a Plus member. Well, that's it for another Hammer Productions Night. If you missed last week's Hammer Productions Night, check out the link up here to get caught up on that one. Or if you missed any of the other Hammer Productions Night, be sure and check out the playlist right here to get caught up on any of them that you have missed.